I spoke yesterday when I was filling in for Peter Credlin with former Victorian Premier Jeff Kennett. Now, the former Premier, he was Premier of Victoria for 9 years, expressed, I think, what many of us have been feeling about the state. And it's sad. It's really sad. And I don't understand why the government doesn't address this spiralling crime crisis. Now, this came after Jeffrey, described the state as being effed. Here's a little of what Jeff had to say yesterday.
Right now, our security is at risk. We're not living in a third world country. We're living in Australia, and the government doesn't care. So, yes, I was frustrated, and I publicly apologise for using the word, but that's how I feel. I am so pissed off.
Joining me now, former Homicide Squad Detective Charlie Bezzina. Great to have you in the studio again.
Thanks, Dave.
Jeffrey gets upset, but I've never seen him quite that angry. And he was always a person who, as you know, talked the state up.
Yeah.
He's had it.
Absolutely.
He's calling it effed.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he's not alone. I think we all feel the same. We all are so afraid out there with what's happening because it's not getting any better. And what concerns me also is we're not getting our senior police command coming out to reassure the community. Their deafening silence is concerning for me.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday alone, you had a woman who was trying to go to Bali with her kids, puts the keys in the ignition of the car, some bloke comes up and drives off with their passports and luggage.
Absolutely.
No senior police coming out talking about that.
Not at all.
The day before, a man allegedly stabbed 11 times in the head, kid with a machete, who was out on bail.
Yeah.
And police will allege that he was involved in this. You need people with big stars on the epaulets going,
correct.
OK, enough's enough.
Exactly. And I think they're hamstrung. And I think you touched upon it, or Jeff did, about the numbers. 2,000 down. We're going to lose another 500, closer to the year, if not more, because of this EB agreement about losing their sick leave and the likes.
Well, and Jeff said 700 between now and the end of the year.
And that's conservative.
Really?
Yeah, that's conservative. And they are at the upper echelon of supervisors. So we're going to lose those. And that was from an EB that was done by the police union. Now, they are subservient to the government.
How's the morale in the force when you talk to police?
Over shoelace level.
Really?
And it's not getting any better. Every time I talk to someone, so-and-so, he's left. These talented people are leaving Victoria Police because of the problems, and they can see the political interference that's there.
I spoke yesterday to an old friend of yours and mine, Andrew Rule, who penned that great column on page 1 of the Herald Sun. He told me that he spoke off the record to a senior judicial figure in the last 24 hours. After that column was written, this person rang him and he said there was a group of magistrates who simply do not want to send youth offenders into detention.
Yep, and I think that's come out earlier too. So that's across the board because you are getting these lefty magistrates and judges out there. But that can be fixed. Who appoints judges and magistrates? The government does. So they've got to sit down with them and say, right, we want to push our safety of the community, the new bail laws. OK, it's all about... No, it's not. If it's safety about community, these recidivist offenders, you commit an offence, and even the one that they broke into this guy's house, they stabbed him, they beat him with a hammer and shot him. The 4 of them, they videoed themselves. They've only recently been apprehended by the police. Now, those ones, and a couple have got bail, well, they should be in. You're going to be in custody. That's where we've got to be, and start mandating from the government down to these people and give them no choice because it's not your decision. You're not making the community safe.
Do you feel safe?
I don't. And I'll tell you, I got what we all got. We've got equalisers at home, and anyone comes into my house, they might not be living in the same conditions that they came in. I can tell you that now, quite openly.
I wrote today, it's up online, it'll be in the Herald Sun tomorrow, about Apex Street. I went out there. The reason being, in 2006, we got what was called the Apex Gang.
Yeah.
Now, originally, the police said, OK, we've got a gang. They're called Apex. They're made up mainly of South Sudanese and Pacific Islanders. When I backtracked over how that was then subsequently reported, all of the references of ethnicity disappeared. Yeah. The word gang disappeared.
Correct.
We were never allowed to mention it. There were politicians going around saying there is no gang problem in Melbourne.
Correct. And this goes back 25 years, and I always bring it up. Christine Nixon, she made a decree in Victoria Police. No police officer was to refer to the word gangs. We do not have gangs in Victoria. So that's in 2000. So that's
25 years ago.
Exactly. Now that's manifested over this period to where we are today. So we're paying the legacy of mismanagement by police leaders, and all have gone soft on it. Same as the demonstrations. We've gone soft. Look where we are with all the demonstrations every Sunday shutting down this great city. It's a disgrace.
The boss of Super Retail today, I mean, he owns a whole bunch of retail stores. He described Victoria as the nation's crime capital. Anthony Hegarty is his name. He said his rebel stores, this is a direct quote, have been the subject of, quote, industrial-scale theft. What happens is 3 or 4 of these characters walk into a rebel store with a bag loaded up with shoes or clothing and just walk out.
Correct. And that's only one when they're doing licensed premises.
This is a classic broken window thing. You can't put up with that.
Correct. And they're not sitting back. Now, look, as unfortunate as it is, we make it quite clear, the police can't do it. The police can't be there.
No, they can't.
So when we've got a conglomerate like Rebel Sport, for example, and they're making a major profit, OK, they've got to start engaging. They want to protect their staff, start engaging security officers that can act like the security officers at a pub. Grab these mongrels, put them in a little box, wait till it was 4 or 5 hours, so be it till the police get there.
Is that legal?
Well, it is, because in my day, what we call floor walkers can grab them. Now,
a bouncer can grab someone.
Exactly. So, do we get to a stage, we may do, that we're going to have armed guards in shops? You know, you can't have a guard with a lot of...
It happens in Europe all over the place.
And that's where we're heading. We're not learning by their mistakes. You know, even these demonstrations, the last time we had in Spencer Street, they started burning plastic rubbish bins. We're going to end up with them looting the shops and that. We're going to get like America and France and all these other places and burning cars. That's the way we're heading, because they're not cutting it off at the pass like they did with the youth crime back in 2000. Head in the sand, it'll go away. It just got... We never heard of carjackings, home invasions. Now, that carries 20 plus years.
A woman in Swan Street, Richmond, the other day, opens the boot of her car to put something in there. Bloke jumps in, tries to drive off. She only didn't lose her car because some good Samaritans came around and grabbed the bloke.
But it's a psychological effect on all of us. And ultimately, that could be anybody going about their business. You know, you're walking around and you're swivelling your head all the time because you think you're going to be attacked. That's not the city we want to live in. It is incumbent upon the government, followed by the police, as best as they can do. But it's also a situation where private enterprise, these major shopping centres, they have to engage more security people that can actually engage with these and hold these mongrels till they get there.
I tell you what I'm going to do. I know you're very big on youth camps and trying to turn these kids around.
Yeah.
Often they don't have fathers or they come from broken homes. I'll talk to the group that you've identified. I'll talk to them next week while I'm filling in for
Fantastic.
Charlie, good to see you again, mate.
Thanks, Steve.